As they say, you don't have to love country music to love George and Tammy, but it helps.
Stand by your man.
There's something about having a #1 hit.
And show the world you love him.
It does something to a person.
Keep giving all the love you can.
After your first #1, can't wait for the next one.
Hello and welcome to Screen OD, the channel for people who love TV, movies and streaming. My name's Tim, I'm an editor and a journalist who's been writing and talking about the media industry for more than 15 years. And today we have an all-singing and, a little bit of dancing TV series which is new from Showtime. It's a 6-part series called George and Tammy, which tells the story of George Jones and Tammy Wynette, which if you're into country music are pretty big names. And if you're not into country music, you're going to like this one anyway, although the soundtrack of course is kind of country, so if this is music that you really can't stand, you probably want to tune out now.
Backstroke. Put your hands together for George Jones.
You live in a fast world.
Fast is the only speed I know. Miss Tammy Wynette.
Mm-hmm.
Will you make me an honest man?
You make me an honest woman.
You bet.
Okay, so what's this one all about? Well, you've probably guessed from the title, George and Tammy, that this is the story of George and Tammy, and it's obviously a fictionalized version of reality. Biopics, if you will, although biopics maybe not the right word because this isn't kind of origin stories of both of them. This is about when George Jones meets Tammy Wynette. This is about how their relationship forms, and then the series follows what happens next. In the first episode, we see Tammy Wynette's life and we see George Jones's life and how they suddenly intersect when she opens a show for him. At the time, Tammy is married to someone else, an aspiring songwriter. Now, it feels like that relationship isn't for lasting, and as we find pretty soon, there are cracks in the relationship, and the one that she is developing with George as such a creative star is one that will form a bond between them that will mean eventually they end up going off on their road together.
But Jones' solo stuff's flatlining.
I should have done more to stop it. You can't stop her unless her beauty.
You can't bear happiness.
Nobody wants me happy.
I do.
And so we see a relationship develop and blossom, and not only on a personal level, on a romantic level, but we see these two people become two of the biggest stars together in country music. Now, if you're like me and you're not someone who really knows very much about country music, and you may have listened to a little bit here and there, and you may have seen some movies and some TV shows with this as a fascinating theme, then you're going to think, I think, when you come into this, there are quite a lot of similarities in the first instant between it and A Star is Born, the movie that stars, of course, Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. Now, in that story, you have a slightly older man who has problems with drink, and you have a younger woman, a talent on the way up, and the kind of way that they are there to help each other through what they need in different areas of their life at different times of their life becomes kind of the central theme. Now, that is definitely something that you will see at the beginning of this series, but it quite quickly starts to develop into something much more than that.
Sometimes it's hard to be a woman.
You need to slow down.
So many people are relying on me, fans and my family.
They're gonna take it from us.
Take what?
Our fire. We just gotta hold on.
That's right.
This is a relationship that we see quite quickly has trouble on both sides, and this is about human frailty. These are personalities who need help, and they don't always get the help that they need, and their public image and the things that their fans see in them and the way that the music talks and what happens behind the scenes in their relationship is, of course, the most fascinating part of celebrity, of stardom, and that comes across incredibly well in this show.
Stand by your man and show the world you love him. Keep giving all the love you can.
And one of the great things about the fact that it's a TV show rather than a movie, and one of the things that we've seen a trend in recent years is kind of cinematic production values, and this does feel very cinematic when you watch it. And as I say, there's that kind of Star is Born feel, but instead of it having to be done in a 2-hour story arc and the whole story be told, you've got this 6 parts. You've got the time for the characters to breathe, you've got time for the music to talk, and you've almost got time as a viewer as well to ponder a little bit more about what's going on, to get a bit more invested into some of the relationships, into some of the characters. And I think the way that this has been paced really helps you do that.
This love I have for you is so big. It's gonna be forever.
But it doesn't matter how many cinematic values you've got, how much money there is behind a show, how glossy it looks and how good the direction is, and all of those things it ticks the boxes for, unless you have absolutely powerhouse performances from the 2 leads. And that, I don't think anyone can deny, is completely true in this. You have Michael Shannon playing George, and you have Jessica Chastain playing Tammy, and both of these performances are absolutely brilliant. They're captivating. The chemistry between them on screen is fantastic. You believe in their vulnerabilities, you believe in their love, and you believe in their frailties. Also, what is fantastic is that they are singing, they're actually performing in the TV show, which brings a certain honesty and a certain authenticity to these performances, which if the music had been layered on afterwards and it was someone else singing on their behalf, I don't think that you would feel. This is a show that is about less than perfect people. There's no such thing as a perfect human, however famous, whatever they create. This is a show that illustrates that on the screen and does it in a sometimes dark, sometimes light, sometimes hopeful, and sometimes despairing world. You know what? It's not that different from the world. And I think that's what draws you into this. These characters are believable. The show is grippingly written, perfectly directed, and beautifully put together around all of the musical moments. If you like country music, there's an extra bonus here, which are 2 very famous stars are portrayed on the screen, and also you've got a soundtrack which you're very much going to enjoy. But I think even if you're not into country music, there is so much in this story, in the characters, and the performances alone are worth tuning in for. So I think if this is a dramatic area that perhaps you would like to explore, I think you do a lot worse than going and watching George and Tammy. It's available to watch in the UK, like where I am, on Paramount Plus, the streaming service right now. And if you're in the US, it is on Showtime. Thank you so much for watching the review. I hope you found it useful. If you did, why not hit that like button and share the love with other people on YouTube. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to Screen OD for all the best videos direct to your feed. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you again very soon.